Trump is the new president of America, and most likely he plans to stop the war in Ukraine along the front line. If earlier Putin would have gladly accepted such a generous and unexpected gift, now the Kursk region is, in fact, stuck deep in the very organ with which he typically generates his complex geostrategic plans.
Of course, we need to address these bandits who have entered the territory of the Russian Federation.
That's why Okurok is very eager to capture the Kursk region before Donald's official inauguration. First and foremost, that's exactly why the Kremlin needed North Korean soldiers apparently. They've already run out of their own lackeys. They transferred an entire division of Koreans to the Kursk area. However, not all of them are currently able to hold rifles because their arms are so sore. The thing is, the North Koreans have discovered for the first time in their lives that the internet exists, and on the internet porn, which they've quickly gotten hooked on.
Oh my.
The atmosphere in the Kursk region is certainly impressive. The Koreans are watching porn and the Russians are looting. A needle.
They've looted everything. Oh dear. What on earth is going on? Anyway, what? Oh yeah. What were you looking for here? Hey, look over there. Goodness, can you get through? Yeah, right.
The military police filmed the inspection of a house on Shkolnaya Street in the town of Korinovo. All the apartments on the first floor have been broken into and looted.
Over there too. Everything was taken. Bastards, damn.
50,000 looters and masturbators in the Kursk region. And at Valdai, Putin even managed to declare that he has outplayed everyone again and that Ukraine has already long since lost in Kursk. According to him, the Ukrainian armed forces have lost more in the Kursk region in 3 months than they did in the entire year of 2023.
Now look, here's what's happening right now. Let's say at this very moment on the line of contact, or for example, as an illustration, in the Kursk region. They entered the Kursk region. Well, the losses are colossal over 3 months of fighting. The losses are greater than for the entire previous year for the Kiev regime, over 30,000.
Putin has a superpower, never repeating the same lie twice. A year ago, at this very forum, the Pale One claimed that in 2023 Ukraine lost more than 90,000 soldiers.
Just since June 4th, Ukrainian units have already reportedly lost in total over 90,000 people specifically.
War is peace, freedom is slavery. 30,000 is more than 90,000.
Why did they even let him out of the hospital?
It's either dementia or complete confidence that the brains of the Russian population have finally turned to mush, and you can feed them whatever you want. They'll believe it anyway. Tomorrow, Putin could assault a World War II veteran live on Red Square and then tell everyone that he actually gave him an award, and everyone will give a standing ovation.
Making tinfoil hats is not only an interesting and creative activity, but also an important patriotic act, symbolizing the readiness to defend our motherland from external threats. Let our hat become a proud symbol of unity and resilience and strength in the face of external challenges.
The only thing Putin can no longer lie about is that there are no losses.
I am serving in the 123rd Assault Brigade. I am appealing to the police. Help me. I don't know what to do. My commander team, who I was in radio contact with, ordered me and 5 other guys to go on the assault. The first to die was a tourist. Then I heard cries for help from Mocha and Kinzal.
We still don't have enough infantry. We're short on people in general, but especially infantry.
There are supposedly so few losses that to defend Russia's border, they needed military assistance from starving North Korea. After this news, they should put a power plant over Khrushchev's grave, because he's spinning in there like a gas turbine.
They want to squeeze out every drop of sweat.
To avoid complete embarrassment, North Korean soldiers aren't used as separate units, but are distributed among Russian units. Because of this, a linguistic collapse has started within the divisions.
It's a difficult language. It's a complicated language. So basically, even managing 3 or 4 soldiers who don't speak Russian is a real headache. Anyone who served back in the day when representatives of our ethnic minorities were brought in for service, especially from the Caucasus, they knew maybe 10 words in Russian, and 9 of them were swear words, you know what I mean? So basically, what does it even mean to manage these guys?
Me no understand you, dog porno chewing gum. It's problematic to conduct any meaningful combat operations under such conditions. That's why it's already obvious that the task for the mute Koreans is very simple. To lay out a red carpet for the Russians with their own bodies, so the Russians can follow behind in a meat assault. Then tanks will roll over from above, and finally, the line between Russian and Korean soldiers will be erased.
We're already using a translator too, damn it. Go forward, kill everyone. I'm a 300 need evacuation. We're already translating this crap, damn it. So basically there would be one translator for 300 people.
As it turns out, not everyone in the Orc army is thrilled about the North Korean reinforcements. Moreover, they don't want to fight side by side with them at all. The main newsmaker of Kroshina, Apti Alaudinov, continued to shock the Laptenogie with his bold statements.
The thing is, Muslims, Christians, and truly devout Jews, we are all representatives of one important and deeply rooted branch of religion, and therefore, for this reason, my unit will in no way cooperate or interact with Korean detachments who do not have God in their hearts, minds, or souls. I firmly believe it is both wrong and entirely unacceptable for godless people to defend, protect, or safeguard our land, our home, and our sacred values, which we hold dear.
Take a whiff. This reeks strongly of interreligious and inter-ethnic discord. A Russian officer openly called Allied soldiers infidel Ja'aos and said that even under threat of defeat, he wouldn't sit with them to peel potatoes in the same field.
According to Christian canons, what we are doing is considered a grave sin.
There was no official response to Laptia Aladdin's statement. So, that's considered normal. And it's not even about the Koreans, the point is that in Russia, it turns out that being an atheist or a Buddhist is a crime. Everyone joked that Russia is quickly turning into North Korea. But it went even further and has already turned into the Taliban.
And if even one of these atheists, no matter who they are, says anything at all against any faith, any religion, I don't know, or even speaks out against any prophet or religious figure, then in our country, they will absolutely be punished to the fullest extent of the law, without exception.
The unbelievable has happened. The Koreans escaped from North Korea only to end up in an even more terrible place. Now they have been deprived of their last remaining right, the right to life. Although their living conditions are still better than those of the native serfs.
Let me show you how our friends were settled from North Korea. They do not have to sleep on the hard floor at night like we do, unlike us.
The only chance for the Korean soldiers to be saved is to surrender to the Ukrainian armed forces. But to prevent this, the North Korean authorities have taken the families of the soldiers sent to Russia as hostages. This was stated by Lee Song-won, a member of the South Korean parliament. The families of the military personnel were forcibly relocated to one place and isolated. Knowing the nature of the North Korean regime, they will simply be executed if the soldiers surrender.
And in this way, all North Koreans are hostages. But when a soldier's family is placed in a specific location, the soldier at the front already knows that if he behaves in any way that's not allowed, his family will be destroyed.
For Russians, this is a worrying sign, because up until now, Putin has eagerly adopted the practices of his North Korean comrades. So it won't be long before, instead of a white ladder, the relatives of the occupiers will have a black dolphin.
The largest prison in Russia for the most dangerous criminals. And for the locals, the prison has long become a dream job.
The DPRK has officially entered the war. That's a fact. Americans no longer have to wonder what the Korean military is doing in Russia, whether they're making collages or learning to bake kulebiaka. They're fighting, and the world will never be the same again.
Kim Jong-un also stated that he intends to unconditionally support Russia's policies, including the conduct of the special military operation in Ukraine.
It's hard to imagine what the consequences of this might be.
Ukrainian intelligence has started intercepting conversations of Koreans who are participating in the fighting. So Western partners can now fully express their concerns. The potatoes had to give this to the sushi.
Naturally, I'm Batok Tsuri. Thank you. Police siren.
Naturally, the planet's main and most prominent peacemaker and the man who is very well known for having exceptionally excellent close relations with Kim Jong-un simply could not just ignore this particular situation.
Listen, I had very good relations with Xi Jinping and also very good ones with Vladimir Putin, as well as very good relations with Kim Jong-un, who, believe it or not, actually has nuclear weapons. If I am friends with someone and maintain a relationship, that's good, not bad for the country.
The 47th President of the United States called the South Korean leader to discuss how to move forward in a world where two unstable entities have formed a military alliance because one is sending soldiers to fight in Europe while the other is sending nuclear and missile technologies to North Korea. And that means, at the very least, that the resort season in Hawaii is under threat of being cancelled because of a nuclear winter. The presidents decided that they need to support Ukraine and develop military cooperation. The president of South Korea stated that, because of the North Korean soldiers, he wants to send a group of observers to Ukraine. I think one day will be enough for the observers to realize that all possible weapons should be sent to Ukraine, otherwise they will have to use them on their own territory later.
I want to sincerely thank everyone around the world who responded to the appearance of North Korean soldiers in Russia, and who responded not just with words, but is also thoughtfully preparing countermeasures to support Ukraine's defense. Thank you for your continued efforts to support our defense here in Ukraine.
I would like to remind you that this video is created for entertainment purposes and contains elements of satire and irony. All facts and events are presented in a hyperbolized or exaggerated form to convey a comedic or dramatic effect. Our goal is not to mislead, but to highlight humor. Please take it with a smile.